Hello, YouTube. Some of you seen my videos from a while back. I had to take some time and figure out a route that I wanted to take that would be comfortable. But I couldn't come up with one until yesterday. 9/10/2025. When I watched a man who is loved by many being violently taken away. By something that I would consider to be satanic. This was satanic. You know, there's been case studies done about a certain type of individual, which we have many here in this country. These were case studies done by professionals. The prognosis, the end to their studies was these people are psychopaths. They weren't just putting that name on these people just out of convenience to find a word or something to come up with, a name to call them. Because these studies were done for every aspect of what these people's existence consisted of. All their thoughts, all their actions, all their motives, all their intentions. It all led back to one word: psychopaths. Now, when you get a bunch of people who are clearly unstable, mentally unstable, listening to people who you can, by listening to them, know that these people are psychopaths in high places. And their constituents follow what these psychopaths are telling them. And I'm a Christian man, and yesterday I was battling these demons like you wouldn't believe. Revenge, vengeance. I had to fight it. I had to pray for peace. Yet I'm still emotionally just not right. Because what led up to what happened yesterday, I've watched it. I've watched it. You've watched it. There's people being called Nazis. They're being made out to be people, the worst type of people that ever walked the face of the earth. They were so bad that it took the whole entire world to wipe them off the face of the earth. And then we're being called that. When you have people who are being looked at as leaders saying those kind of things to people who are mostly on some kind of psychotropic drugs, some mental instabilities. The kind of people that you see in having knockdown dragouts with nothing up and down the streets of America. People who you have to get on the other side of the street to avoid because they're violent and unpredictable. Now, when you've got leadership out there spreading propaganda and telling these mentally unstable people that person over there, because he voted a certain way, he's a Nazi. He's the worst kind of individual. There you go. Why do you think all these things that happen over in Chicago, why do you think nothing's being done about that? Why do you think they don't want the military there to control anything? Don't you find it a little funny that all the gun violence going on in this country is by people who, if aren't voting for them, are potential voters? That's where the gun violence is coming from? That's where all the violence is coming from? They allow it to happen. They want it to happen. Creates victims. They love their victims. Matter of fact, that's probably about 80% of the whole base is they're a victim of something. Let alone they're all given a handful of pills that just the side effects to these pills. If you're having these kind of thoughts and those kind of thoughts and this kind of thoughts, then you're already giving people with mental illness these kind of psychotropic drugs and then telling them, hey, that person over there is the worst kind of person in the world. Go deal with that. Have at it. Psychopaths. Controlling mentally unstable people. Psychopaths. What we seen yesterday, that's the end game. They can't have a constructive argument. Almost every single time I've seen people out in the streets just telling the truth. You got certain individuals who have no argument, so they want to lay hands on you. They're being told that's okay because these people are Nazis. They're the lowest form of life. You're taking the high ground by putting your hands on these individuals because they're Nazis. It's unreal, man. There's going to come a point in time in this country and all over the world where the tolerance is going to run out for this kind of thing. Where people are going to not want to step aside, but they're going to want to take action. Be careful who you listen to. Because when you finally do what the Japanese did back in World War II, awaken that giant, you weak individuals don't stand a chance. You're pushing people into making you look like nothing more than rabid animals. And everybody knows what has to happen to a rabid animal. You're putting yourself in these positions. You're letting these people speak evil into your ears and carry out their dirty deeds while they sit back and say, well, as long as you check this certain box here, we'll feed you. We'll get that guy over there with a shovel to feed you, house you, provide you with all the needles to shoot your drugs up in the streets. We'll provide you with that. Just vote this way. And guess what? We're going to get it to where you're not going to be held accountable for your actions. What we seen yesterday, that was heart-wrenching, man. That let people know exactly where we stand and what we're up against. There's gonna be a time where tolerance for this kind of thing is gonna run out. But I think that's what they want. They want a war. They want this. So they can go, look, see? Look. Because they don't want to put up with our garbage anymore. Look what they do. See? That's what happens when psychopaths are in charge of anything. Decay. Moral decay. Social decay. Everything these people touch turns to dust. These feelings that I was fighting yesterday were feelings of revenge. Feelings to where you hear one of them speaking out in the public to run up and knock their teeth out. But because the Lord is telling me that's not the way, I'm fighting this. I'm fighting these feelings of hatred. That's one thing that I've never done in my whole entire life, was tell somebody, I hate you. I've never done that. That to me is the harshest thing you can say to another human being, is tell them you hate them. I don't find that. I don't find anything in that other than that's something you shouldn't say to another human being, is tell them you hate them. But I was fighting yesterday and today. I woke up with the first thing on my mind. I'm not a violent person, nor have I ever been. But watching what happened yesterday, I saw the video. Please don't watch that. You don't want to see that. This is what you get when you've got psychopaths in charge. This is exactly the outcomes. These people are satanic. They're demons. I'm having a real hard time in controlling my emotions at this point. Because that could have been my son right there, being taken out by some scumbag. Some filthy scumbag who was told they're Nazis. Who cares? You're taking the high ground by eliminating Nazis. We're in trouble, folks. Mark my words. It's going to get worse before it gets worse. I heard that yesterday, and it rings so true. Pray. Pray against these evils that are in high places in this country. Things aren't good. Things haven't been good. Things aren't right. We're being used. We're all being used in some way, shape, or form for this power grab of these psychopaths. They're dividing us to the point where now it's turned into ending people's lives because of it. Well, they sit back and nothing happens to them. No repercussions for the rhetoric that they're spreading, the propaganda that they're spreading. Nothing happens to these people. No accountability. Government's not accountable anymore. Just like the same as treason doesn't mean anything anymore. Law enforcement, just the good of them are their hands are tied. They're arresting the same individuals over and over and over. And generally nothing is done until one of these people who have been arrested time and time again finally ends somebody's life. Then it's time. Then we'll do something. But until then, he's a ticking time bomb. And he's being told, yeah, you're free to go. Knowing that this individual should never be on the streets. See? You're being used. We are being used in a game that takes lives. While they sit back, rub their hands together, and don't pay it no mind. Life don't mean anything to them. Power and money. That's what drives them. You're just a pawn in the game. Psychopaths. Case studies, scientific studies prove the end game with these people, what you can call them, and it will be true. Unlike certain individuals being called Nazis, that's completely untrue. What is true is that the people who are telling these mentally unstable people that we're Nazis, they can scientifically be called psychopaths. They want to change everything. They want to create chaos in lives. That's what psychopaths do. And they love their company. They love being in power over people. If you notice, some of the world's biggest dictators were nothing more than just peon people. The power is in their pen. The weakest individuals are usually the most demonic and power hungry. They become dictators. Those are the weakest people. Look at the party over there that's causing all this. Look at them. Bunch of weak people who are put in positions that they should never, ever be put in. Ever. They're just as unstable as their constituents in reality. They're psychopaths. Pray for this country. Pray for the Kirk family. Pray for your family. This is all going to end one day. And the people who are on the wrong side of it, you got eternity to face. It's going to be horror. It's going to be horror. Horrific. Unspeakable. Where you spending eternity at. Mark my words. Everything in the Bible is coming true. All the prophecies are coming true. Everything's coming true. And if you're not paying attention to it, then you won't know what you're looking at. You won't know what you're looking at. Why? Because it's a battle in the spiritual realm. These people are driven by demonic forces. We don't battle against flesh and blood. The Bible says that. These people are demonic from the top down. Demonic. And if you're not seeing it from a spiritual standpoint, from your spiritual perspective, then they'll just look like evil people. But you have to know that it goes a lot deeper than that. That's all the way to the soul. The soul is corrupt. Demons using these people as vessels to do their dirty work. The vessels that carry demonic forces to do the dirty work. Well, these people are very, very weak-minded people who glom on to whatever makes them feel good. Whether it be good or bad. Mostly bad. That's why the drug epidemic is allowed to keep going on. Those are the people that are most likely to vote for who's ever allowing them to do whatever they want to do. Cashless bail. Whoever heard of people who are ending lives being let out onto the streets shortly after the crime has been committed? We battle not against flesh and blood. That should be evident to people these days. It's good and evil. That's it. But I just felt compelled to get back on here again. Because I am too having an emotional battle. I just can't. It doesn't seem real. I watched the video over and over and over of a man's life ending. And it still doesn't look real to me. And the reason that it doesn't seem real is because he wasn't out there spreading vitriol and hate like a certain party said he was. That's the reason why this individual did what he did, is because there's a certain party that was telling him. This man's spreading hate. I listened to Kirk for a long time. Never once did I ever hear one word of hate come out of his mouth. But just like it is, they don't win an argument, they got to put their hands on you. They got to call you filthy names. They get violent because they're mentally unstable, being driven by psychopaths and all kinds of drugs that obviously don't keep them level-headed. And anyway, just thought I'd get back on here again and express this to get some things off my chest. Because we're in a bad state right now. Pray. God is our mighty deliverer. He's our healer. He's the light to the darkness in this world. Don't resort to violence yourselves. It gets nowhere. Violence begets violence. It's not the way. Even though I was feeling it. Like I said, I had to fight that. I had to fight that. With everything within me, I had to fight those feelings. Because I knew that's where the devil was starting to come in. Going, wipe these. You want to wipe these people out for what they did. Vengeance is God's, not mine. I've never been a violent person. And when I felt it starting to happen to me, I knew exactly where it was coming from. God will sort this out. He's our healer and deliverer. Trust in God, because obviously you look around and you can't trust anything but God. All right. Thank you.